Imagine this for a moment. The day finally arrives. Spain is ready. The world is watching. Princess Leonor stands on the edge of history, preparing to become queen. It is the role she has been trained for her entire life. The destiny she was born into. The future everyone expects. And then, she says no. No throne, no crown, no reign. What would happen? Would Spain be thrown into chaos? Would the royal family face a crisis? Could someone else take the throne? Or would the monarchy itself be forced to change forever? It's a question that has fascinated royal watchers for years. Because while Princess Leonor appears deeply committed to her future role, the possibility raises some fascinating questions. After all, becoming queen is not an ordinary job. It is a lifelong responsibility. A commitment that affects every aspect of a person's life. So today, we're exploring one of the most intriguing royal, what-if, scenarios imaginable. What would happen if Princess Leonor refused the throne? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Princess Leonor stories, royal family updates, and fascinating insights into Europe's royal families. Now let's begin. Unlike most people, Princess Leonor did not choose her future. The moment she was born, her place in history was already being written. As the eldest daughter of King Felipe VI, she became the heir to the Spanish throne. That meant her life would be different from almost everyone else's. Her education, her public appearances, her military training, her preparation for leadership, everything has been designed with one goal in mind: preparing her to become Queen of Spain. Which is why the idea of refusing the throne feels so dramatic. It would represent a complete departure from the path she has followed her entire life. The simple answer is yes. A person cannot be forced to rule against their will. History has shown that royal heirs can step aside from succession if they choose. While such decisions are extremely rare, they are not impossible. In modern monarchies, personal choice still matters. If Leonor genuinely decided she did not want to become queen, a constitutional process would likely be required to address the situation. But the possibility itself cannot be completely dismissed. Because at the end of the day, she is still a human being with personal freedom. If Princess Leonor ever announced such a decision, the reaction would be enormous. Spain, Europe, the international media, everyone would be talking about it. Why? Because Leonor is not just any royal. She is the future of the Spanish monarchy. For years, the public has watched her prepare for the role. A refusal would instantly become one of the biggest royal stories in modern history. Questions would flood in. What happened? Why did she decide this? Was there a specific reason? The public fascination would be intense. This is where things become particularly interesting. If Leonor stepped aside, attention would immediately turn to the next person in the line of succession. That person would likely be her younger sister, Infanta Sofía. Suddenly, Sofia's future could change dramatically. Instead of supporting the monarchy from a secondary position, she could become the heir. Imagine the adjustment, an entire lifetime of expectations shifting overnight. The responsibility currently resting on Leonor's shoulders could move to someone else. And that would create a completely different future for Spain's royal family. Perhaps the most emotional part of this scenario involves Leonor's parents. King Felipe VI has spent decades preparing for royal responsibility. Queen Letizia has dedicated years to helping her daughter grow into a future queen. Naturally, such a decision would likely be emotional, not necessarily because they care more about the crown than their daughter, but because they understand the significance of the role. At the same time, they are also parents. And parents often want their children to live lives that bring them fulfillment and happiness. Balancing those two realities would not be easy. To understand why someone might even consider refusing the throne, we need to understand the pressure involved. Being queen isn't simply about attending ceremonies. It means living under constant scrutiny, representing an entire nation, carrying enormous responsibility, sacrificing privacy, accepting expectations that never truly disappear. For decades, that is a tremendous commitment. And while Leonor has shown remarkable dedication, it's easy to understand why some people wonder whether anyone would willingly choose such a demanding life. A refusal would also raise important questions about the future of the institution itself. Modern monarchies depend heavily on continuity. People expect a clear line of succession. A sudden change would create uncertainty. Not necessarily instability, but uncertainty. The monarchy would need to adapt. Leaders would need to reassure the public. And attention would shift toward the next chapter of the royal family's future. the institution would almost certainly continue. But the transition could be challenging. Despite how fascinating this scenario is, there is an important point to remember. There is currently no indication that Princess Leonor intends to refuse the throne. In fact, her actions often suggest the opposite. She has embraced military training, participated in official duties, delivered important speeches, represented Spain at major events. These are not the actions of someone avoiding responsibility. They are the actions of someone preparing for it. While nobody can predict the future, everything we see publicly suggests Leonor understands the importance of her role. Perhaps the more interesting question isn't whether Leonor would refuse the throne. It's why people are so fascinated by the possibility. Maybe it's because the scenario feels human. It reminds us that behind the titles and ceremonies is a young woman facing extraordinary expectations. A person with dreams, feelings, choices, responsibilities. And that's something many people can relate to. Because even though most of us will never become monarchs, we all understand what it's like to face major decisions about our future. So, what would happen if Princess Leonor refused the throne? The answer is complicated. There would likely be constitutional discussions, a major public reaction, questions about succession, and significant changes for Spain's royal family. Yet despite all the speculation, one thing remains clear. There is no evidence that Leonor plans to walk away from her future. If anything, her dedication suggests she is embracing the responsibilities ahead of her. Still, the question remains fascinating because it reminds us of something important. Even future queens are human. And behind every crown is a person making choices, facing challenges, and carrying responsibilities few of us can imagine. For now, Princess Leonor's path appears firmly set toward the throne. But imagining the alternative helps us better appreciate just how extraordinary her journey truly is. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Princess Leonor stories, royal family updates, and fascinating insights into Europe's royal families. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.